Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, A Style of Living. For those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Bláithín. I am a retired wedding planner and author. I'm now a stay-at-home mum and I'm researching my third book. As today's video is pretty self-explanatory, for those who perhaps this is your first video you're watching, my big goal for the year is to lose 4 stone, and I am doing that with Slimming World. And I started to write these tips as reminders for myself as to what to do, because right now I'm a little over 2 months into my Slimming World journey. I started on January 8th and today is March 15th. And I have started to struggle over the last couple of weeks, particularly now with the coronavirus being so prevalent everywhere and Ireland being on a lockdown. I fall into one of the danger categories, so myself and my husband do, as well as our parents, and so I'm a little bit apprehensive, and I am a big stress eater, and I am trying to limit the amount of damage I might potentially do to my fantastic weight loss. So far I have lost 1 stone, 11 pounds as of my last official weigh-in, which was 4 days ago. And so yes, I'm going to share with you the tips that I use all of the time and what I've used to achieve such great results so far. They are in no particular order. I would consider each of them as important as the other and help you in your journey, or even just if you are trying to eat healthier, even if you're not necessarily following Slimming World, although there are some very specific Slimming World ones. First off is to have a meal plan, to know what you're eating and when, and not just for breakfast, lunch and dinner. I know when you see meal plans, mostly on YouTube or online, they focus a great deal on just dinner. I'm suggesting you have a meal plan for every single meal, including your snacks, which I feel are most important. So I generally have 3 snacks a day. I have one at about 11, one at about 3, and one at about, let's say, 8 p.m. It's sort of like an 8 or 9 p.m. And these are my treats, generally when I eat my sins, although they're not always necessarily sin heavy or sinned at all. The next big tip is to not consume your daily sin allowance every single day. So as a woman, I get between 5 and 15 sins a day, and I probably consume about 12 in a day over the course of my various meals and those snacks that I talked about. The reason I'm suggesting to you not to consume all of your sins every day is for 2 reasons. Everybody has a specific day or time of the week, often it's the weekend, where they overindulge. So they might overindulge on chocolate, on cake, on takeaway, on wine, on alcohol, whatever it may be, whatever your thing is. For me, it's definitely chocolate. And so by not eating your sins every single day, your full allotment, if you do overindulge, you're not hopefully going to do yourself catastrophic damage, and you may still have great weight loss. Also, in the event that you find yourself out and the choices aren't great, or you find yourself eating in somebody's house, they had told you they were doing a Slimming World friendly meal, something happens and you end up ordering a takeaway. You then have spare sins to spend, I hate the terminology, but I think it makes the most sense to use, on eating, and you're not, again, going to do yourself much damage. This one I think is really important, particularly if you live in a family with other people, is to put the whole house on Slimming World. They don't have to necessarily know about it, but I think if you limit the amount of danger foods that come into your house, it will definitely help you in your success. Right now there's just me and my 5-month-old baby. I am responsible, or I do the shopping and I do the meal plans. And while my husband probably eats more of the treats and say fun stuff that I bring into the house, anything that I do bring into the house is, for me, Slimming World friendly, as in I instantly know how many sins are in it, and generally one portion of the given item will have no more than 5 or 6 sins in it. I need to do that for my success because I have no willpower, and if I don't bring in single portioned treat items that I like in those lower values, and if they're not single portioned, I will basically eat the entire pack without thinking. This one is really important, and that is staying for the group every single week. It is really important to stay for that group meeting and to contribute and to listen to the others, not only for the support to carry you through the week, but also to get ideas on how other people are dealing with the problems they're facing, and to get inspiration for meals and what to do in the event that you are going out to eat or out for drinks, or if you have a birthday or a holiday coming up. It's really invaluable. I believe for real success in Slimming World is that you have to set yourself a target. That is either a weight you would like to be or an amount of weight you wish to lose, and to set yourself a target date. So for me, I want to lose 4 stone inside of 1 year. I started, as I mentioned, on January 8th, so we could say at the start of the year. And so by the end of December this year, I want to have lost 4 stone. I've already mentioned I'm 1 stone 11 pounds, so I'm almost halfway there, and I'm only a little over 2 months into my journey. So fingers crossed I will have success. But I really think that having that focused targets, both in amounts and the date, keep you on track. If you're joining up just to lose weight with no clear goals in mind, you have no real drive to get you there. If and when you go off plan, so if you go for a takeaway that you shouldn't have eaten, or if you drink a bottle of wine over a night with a friend and that was not within your sins or within your plan allowance, don't let that derail you. You've made that choice, you've eaten that takeaway. At your next meal, get yourself back on a plan. Don't let one sort of mishap or misdemeanor derail a week or derail a month. Let it be one instance and move on. This one is really, really, really important. And that is focus on your speed foods. So when you're making that meal plan and when you're deciding what to put on it and what to put on your grocery list, focus it around your speed foods. So when you're thinking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner, think first, what speed foods am I going to have at that meal? And then add in the accompaniments. The more speed that you eat, the more your food is processed quickly and the calories used. That's what Slimming World really is all about. It's about optimizing your food. That's why so much emphasis is placed on those speed foods and the name speed is used. So really think about those, and if at the very least you should be having 1/3 of each plate is speed. If you can manage it, 1/2 is even better. It will give you better results. Drink plenty of water. Those of you who will have watched my 3.5 litres of water a day challenge will know the benefits that I found in drinking water or increasing my water intake. Drinking loads of water will not only help with your weight loss, but there are many, many other benefits to it as well. So not only is it great for Slimming World or losing weight, it's great for your health, which is a win-win. If you have a favorite meal and it's currently not very Slimming World friendly, as in it's calorific, look at the components of it, break them down and see if there are substitutions or swaps that you can make to lower the sin value of the meal, or to swap a few things out so that you can still enjoy that meal, but it's not as many calories as it currently would be if you were to make or buy it based on the recipe or the product that you're currently using. I think for pretty much everything there is a lower value or a Slimming World friendly option out there. Pinterest is great for this. You could also check out my own Pinterest Slimming World board if you want a couple of ideas and inspirations. A lot of the recipes on there you will see in the previous meal plans that I've shared and the upcoming ones that I have. Know your danger times of the day. Everybody has them. Those times of the day where they lose control, they lose willpower, or they're so used to just sitting there and eating a packet of biscuits or a block of cheese or 3 glasses of wine, whatever it may be. For me, it's the evening time. It comes around 8, 9, 10 p.m. at night. And that's often when my husband and I are sitting down watching television, and in my previous life I would consume chocolate, biscuits, crisps, the whole lot all together, and I would just eat and eat and eat and eat while I was watching television. And like literally I could probably have 2 packets of crisps, half a pack of biscuits, if not a pack, gone in that sort of 2-hour period. And if you're doing that every single night, wow, the difference in your weight is unreal. I still get those cravings, and it takes me about 3 or 4 weeks when I'm on Slimming World to lose them, or sort of for them to be less prevalent. For those very quickly who are not aware, I first started Slimming World in April 2017 prior to my first pregnancy. So it's seen me through 3 pregnancies at this point. That's when I refer to my sort of extended journey with Slimming World. A really important one and very difficult one to make, especially if you have struggled with your weight for a long period of time, is you will have to make sacrifices. There are no doubts about that. You can't drink all the wine, have all the donuts, you know, eat all the takeaways and still expect to lose weight. It does not work like that. You are going to have to reduce your consumption in a great deal of things that you probably love. But on the flip side of it, you will also learn to love new things too. And you will be surprised at how delicious some things you may not have considered prior to being in the Slimming World actually are. And with time, you won't miss things as much. Of course, you'll still have cravings and longings, and you will still have, you know, that donut and those glasses of wine. You just won't have the 18-count box of donuts in one sitting anymore, which I am guilty of. I find true success with Slimming World comes down to preparing in advance. So you'll already have your meal plan. You will have shopped and just bought the things that you need on your meal plan. And then preparing in advance is really key as well. Some people prefer to spend one day or an afternoon batch cooking their meals for the coming week or 2 weeks, and then they either store them or freeze them depending on what they're doing. Personally, I prepare to cook the day before for the next day, if that makes sense. So when I'm doing dinner, I'm also preparing my lunch at the same time. I often do a double dinner. My husband takes lunch to work with him every day. So we have the following day, the previous night's dinner, just a smaller version of it. This works really well for us. This next tip is going to go slightly against what your Slimming World consultant will say. I find it has really helped to keep me on track, and that is to weigh yourself daily. A few years back, I treated myself to I'm gonna call it fancy digital scales with an accompanying app that goes to my phone. And every morning I weigh myself to see how I'm doing. And I find this really helps me especially on days that perhaps I know I will have overindulged, and when I see it on the scales, I'm able to pull it back that day because I have a number figure to work towards that I need to pull back. It also gives me a loose guide before I go down to Slimming World to see if I've actually lost or gained or maintained. Now, not all scales are the same, so your scales and the Slimming World scales may not read the same value. There is a sort of about a pound difference between my scales and the Slimming World scales. So I always take that into consideration, and I use my scales as a guide to keep me on track. This is a really important one, especially for those who struggle with foods, and that is to experiment with food. I am going to be starting to wean my 5-month-old baby in the next month or so, and I've been reading up a great deal on how to do that, what to do and what to try them on. And it sort of made me think about friends of mine who considered Slimming World but who are not big fans of fruit and vegetable and felt it just wasn't a good fit for them. And it reminded me of some of the suggestions for weaning and the amount of times that you should give a baby a certain food before they actually make a decision on whether they like it or not. And I think that is important to consider when you are doing Slimming World. Like I said, you are going to have to make sacrifices. So some of your favorite meals and dishes might not be your go-tos anymore because they are just not serving you on your weight loss journey. And so I encourage you to experiment with different types of food, styles, cuisines, tastes, and even sort of fruits and vegetables that you may not have once liked, but now, you know, with time and in cooking them in different ways, they could become firm favorites for you. Start your metabolism as early as you can in the day. And so that means having something, even if it isn't a full breakfast, as soon as you can in the day. This will help your body to start burning off fat quicker during the day. Whereas if you get up at, for example, 7 a.m. to go to work, but you actually don't have your breakfast until 11 a.m. when you get your first break in work, that means your body has been up and operating for a great deal of time, but it's not actually burning any fat yet because you haven't actually woken it internally up. So the earlier you do that, the more fat you potentially burn. Treat yourself at key milestones. So for me, my first treat came for me when I got to my stone. I had already decided, I had my eye on this rug for a long time, and while I plan to change all the carpets in my house later this year, I won't be doing it until our house is remediated for pyrite, and the carpet in my office is just woeful. It's 15 years old, and when we got our new puppy a year or so ago, she had a lot of accidents up there, and while it's clean, it's stained. And so I have been looking at this rug for ages, and in my head I couldn't justify it, and then I said, do you know what, if I get a stone off, I am gonna get that rug. Within the month the stone was off and I ordered the rug, and it is just fabulous. I love seeing it. It's the first thing I see at the top of my stairs, and it's such a boost. I then decided my next treat would come if I got a half a stone off, and I was going to glow up my ensuite bathroom. Just some paint, a few new accessories, new shelves, that sort of thing. I was going to do it myself, which of course is the work, but I was going to spend the money on things I really liked for it. And within a couple of other weeks, I was able to glow up my ensuite. In fact, I'm hoping to have that video for you very soon. I just need to rehang a mirror and a couple of other decorative items in the bathroom, and it will be done, but I'm so thrilled with it. As you can already guess, I'm very close to the 2 stone mark, and I have another treat planned for myself then as well. But I think those kind of things to work towards, things that you would really like to do, and they should, I suppose, increase in sort of joy making the more you lose as well. Keeping a food diary will really help you, especially during that first few weeks when you're trying to figure everything out and come to terms with what this means and what you're eating and what you can eat and what you can't eat. Also, if you feel like that you were having a really great week, but that's not reflected in the scales, if you have a food diary, your consultant will be able to go through it with you and maybe point out some areas maybe where that need to be tweaked in order to have the success that you are hoping to see. So really important. And likewise, if you're several months into Slimming World and you're having a rough time and you're doing a half a pound on, a half a pound off, and you're really not getting anywhere significant, a food diary can really help to show, again, where you might need to tweak things and where you might make a few changes and improvements. When you're unexpectedly out, or even if you are out on a planned occasion, be that lunch, drinks, afternoon tea, whatever it is, make the best choices that you can. I had a friend who recently joined Slimming World, and on her first week she happened to be going out for dinner, and so she sent me the menu before she was at the restaurant and asked me would I help her choose the best choices for her based on what was on the menu, and we did that. In fact, she had a delicious meal. I was very jealous, and I think pretty much all on plan. I don't think she wasted any sins on the meal because she was able to make a couple of tweaks by having sauces on the side and choosing, you know, things like fish and salads and that sort of thing as her starters. And so she still had a great time out and still felt like she was really treating herself, but didn't eat any sins. So it is very possible and doable. Sometimes you just need a little preparation. And I'm going to end with a very simple one, but a very effective one. And that is to measure everything. You know, measure all your sort of your daily allowances, you know, all of your extras, those kind of things. That will really help you to stay on track. And if you are worried about overeating certain things, I know for a lot of people the whole carb thing can be a bit of a challenge, the understanding behind it. All I will say to you is, as long as 1/3 of what you're eating is speed food and 1/3 is carbs, regardless how big that third is, you will still lose weight. I hope you enjoyed those tips. I really hope that they are going to help you to have successful weight loss. And if you have any that are really working for you or that you think I missed out, please do leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I do intend on releasing a couple of other videos specifically around Slimming World. I feel that for me, I need that extra little bit of help right now. And I also think because that a lot of the world is on lockdown and health is such an important thing, and obviously losing weight can help greatly with your health. And not only that, but Slimming World is a healthy eating plan that they will be beneficial to everybody. So if there are any specific things you'd like me to cover, do let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye.